Welcome, welcome, welcome. I am super excited to be here with all of you. My name is Ovi Galvan. I serve as a university registrar here at UHD. Very excited to be here. Today, we're going to go over what traditionally we have hosted as our commencement orientation. And my hope is to be able to present to you some information that will be helpful as you prepare for commencement, some information that will be helpful about the ceremony itself, and then information to be aware of and know for after the ceremony. Um, I do want to let everyone know that while we are live right now, we are recording the session. The idea is that as soon as we're done here, we'll make any edits that we might need to do, and then go ahead and post this recording on our commencement website. We know that not everyone who is graduating this spring semester can be here with us tonight at this time. So we certainly are going to make this recording available to students and really any guests that might want to see it on our website. But again, I do want to let you know that I'm really excited. I'm so proud of you all. You're here because hopefully you're a graduating student for this spring semester, realizing that we may have parents and guests who may log in and watch this as well over time. But just really want to congratulate all of you really on this 50th anniversary of UHD, celebrating our 50th class that will be participating in commencement later on in May. So we'll go ahead and get started with our presentation. The first thing I want to share with all of you is this QR code that's from our UHD alumni team. So one of the things that I want to share with all of you is that even though you're graduating from UHD, it doesn't necessarily mean that it's the end between your connection and our school here, but rather that there are certainly more opportunities to be engaged, to be involved, to continue to be involved in different events that we may have, whether it's, obviously a community event or a celebration milestone like we're having this year with our 50th anniversary. If you scan the QR code, it'll take you to a page where you'll be able to eventually receive our UHD alum newsletter. And it'll be obviously a way for you to stay connected, to learn more about your role after graduating from UHD. And then obviously being able to connect with our UHD alumni office in case there's anything else you want to be involved in, any other events that you may want to be a part of, or just in any other way that you want to either volunteer, attend events, give back to the institution, be engaged and involved, right? We do have a very active alumni chapter. We're here in downtown, so we have a good amount of folks that engage, participate, and sponsor different events. So certainly an opportunity for all of you. Definitely don't want you to think that once you graduate, that's it. There's not a place for your UHD anymore, because that's certainly not the case. You are alums, and you obviously are able to continue to engage with us. All righty. The other thing I want to share before we go into the formal program of the presentation is we also get a good amount of questions regarding commencement, right? Between now and commencement, we'll get different questions. Folks will be reaching out, asking us for different updates about commencement. And I want you to know that the best place to get this information, the fastest way to get this information is through our social media sites, right? So whether you go through Facebook, to Instagram, YouTube, these are screenshots that we have on the screen here for you to see, but that's certainly where we're going to post information first. We are going to post information on the UHD commencement website. That just won't be the most fastest way to do it, right? And I say that because any update that we get, we're going to have to vet, review, edit, go through our processing team, put in a request to have it submitted on the website. So it might take us a day or two, whereas other information we will likely be able to post on our social media sites right away. So again, to be in the know and to really stay up to date on the latest information regarding commencement, check out our social media sites, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and then make sure that you go to our UHD commencement website. This is our agenda for tonight. So this is what I'm hoping to go through. Obviously the when, where, and how, planning before the ceremony, getting to NRG Stadium and where to go once you're there, the start of the commencement program, right? Once you're there in your seats and we start with the official program for the commencement. Any questions regarding student accommodations, whether it's you're a student or a guest. I have a couple of slides at the very end of the presentation of frequently asked questions. We've been getting a lot of emails from different students just asking, some questions, and we took some of the ones that are popping up the most and have them here that we're going to go through. And then certainly your opportunity to ask any questions. If you want to email us any questions that maybe this presentation didn't answer, you'll see the contact information at the very end. So the who, when, and where. So this ceremony that's happening on May 10th at NRG Stadium is for spring 2024 graduation candidates only, right? So traditionally, UHD has two commencement ceremonies. We'll have one in May and one in December. The one in May is for students who are completing their academic studies in the spring semester. And the one in December is usually for students who are completing their studies in the summer or the fall. So this ceremony happening on May 10th is for spring 2024 graduates only, right? So it's not for students that are completing their last class in the summer. It's not for students that completed all of their classes in the fall of 2023. We are having one ceremony on Friday, May 10th at 3 p.m. at NRG Stadium. The ceremony start time for us will be prompt at 3 p.m. And listed below, you see the college order, right? So we have first the College of Public Service, College of Sciences and Technology, the College of Humanities and Social Sciences, and the Maryland Davis College of Business. And traditionally, we have the graduate students of each college and program called across the stage first, and then the undergraduates. So again, one ceremony for all 4 college graduating classes at NRG Stadium on Friday, May 10th at 3 p.m. I guess one of the bottom bullets that I have here is NRG Stadium, and I have stadium underlined because one of the things that we've seen happen, right? We've had several commencements already at NRG Stadium, is that where you're actually going, the complex, and you'll see a map of it, a picture of it in a few slides, is actually called NRG Park. And NRG Park houses NRG Stadium, NRG Arena, NRG Center, the Astrodome. And I want to be very clear that our commencement ceremony is happening at NRG Stadium. And I say that because it is possible, because it's happened in the past, that other colleges or universities may be having their commencement ceremony at some of the other venues as well at the same time. So I don't want you to get there, you see a crowd of folks with caps and gowns, and you end up following them without knowing where you're going. We are at NRG Stadium, home of the Houston Texans. Okay, so before the ceremony, the first thing is you want to make sure that you apply for graduation. We have a process here at UHD where students who are getting ready to graduate end up applying for graduation. This denotes begins a process for the academic advisors to review their academic progress. It then comes over to the registrar's office for review. But you want to make sure that you apply for graduation. If you don't or haven't or have questions about that, email us there at the UHD graduation inbox, or also reach out to your academic advisor. Many of them have already been reviewing graduation applications. You do want to share graduation announcements with family and friends, right? And you want to let them know what's going on, share with them the date now, the time, the location. Make sure you give them enough of a heads up, and make sure that if you're going to get any kind of invitations or any formal announcements, that you do so as soon as possible, right? To give them a timely notice. Purchase your cap and gown. So this was it's one of the questions on the FAQ, but we get this. We've been getting this a lot already, right? When can I get my cap and gown? You can get it already. Students have been able to order this from the bookstore, Herf Jones. Students are able to come on campus and order them here at the bookstore. I want to make sure that I reiterate to you that yes, get your cap and gown as soon as possible. Right? Do not wait for the last week. Do not wait for the last couple of days. One thing that might happen is while they may have caps and gowns still all the way to commencement, you may not have one that's perfectly to your length, right, or your size. So you want to make sure that you get your cap and gown as soon as possible. Honor cords, you want to make sure you visit with your academic success coordinator to get your honor cords. Most of them will be at our grad fair, which is happening this Thursday, March 28th, and we'll be able to go ahead and receive their honor cords there. Sometimes students will work directly with their academic advisor to go ahead and get those cords, but we do want to share that with you here. And another thing that you can do that's very unique, I'm gonna share more information about this throughout the presentation, but we use what we call a walk card for your ceremony. A walk card is a card that actually has your name, your major, there's information about your seating chart, or where you're going to be sitting based on the seating chart. It's really what we use to call your name as you walk across the stage. And these are usually available for you at check-in at commencement, but we have in the past few commencements made them available for early pickup. And what this does is it cuts down on the line and waiting times for the actual day of commencement. So if you are on campus and you're able to come and get your walk card, you can do so starting on March 28th, again at the grad fair, all the way to May 8th. So again, if you're able to come to campus and get your walk card, go ahead and do that. That will actually mean that you do not have to go to the student check-in and get a walk card at commencement. Of course, you want to make sure you don't lose it. Keep it with you. Don't write on it. Don't make any edits to it. Don't revise it. Pick up your walk card and have it ready for you for the day of the ceremony. Okay. One of the things that's really unique about graduating from UHD is that it's not just commencement. Like there's a number of other opportunities and events that you can be a part of and that you may be able to be a part of. This is a screenshot of the different events that we have on our commencement website. You see the commencement orientation, which we're going through right now. We'll have the grad fair this Thursday, March 28th at 3 p.m. in 8300. There, usually we have, again, the different colleges giving out honor cords. Folks can come in and pick up their walk cards. You can decorate your cap if you want to go ahead and do that. There's a ring ceremony for those of you that ordered your ring. It's happening Saturday, April 13th. There's a graduate hooding ceremony. So for those of you that are graduating with a master's degree, there is a graduate hooding ceremony that's happening Wednesday, May 8th at 6:30 p.m. The graduate hooding ceremony does not replace commencement. That's another question that we get. It's in addition to being a graduate student. When you actually obtain your cap and gown as a graduate student, it actually comes with an additional piece that the undergraduates don't, and that's a hood. And your hood, part of it is that you have to wear it a specific way the day of commencement. And so one of the things that we do is that we like to commemorate our graduate students. We like to recognize their hard work and actually have a separate graduate hooding ceremony where you'll be able to walk across the stage. You'll have your hood placed on you, and you'll be recognized by your department, by your college. So that's obviously an added bonus if you're a graduate student who's graduating. Veterans, for veteran students, anyone who served in the military, thank you so much for your service. We do have a separate veteran stole ceremony, and we don't have the date yet, but keep checking our website. We'll be sure to get that posted as soon as we have that date. And again, there's a link to the commencement regalia. Again, if you need to get that and you haven't done so yet, please make sure you reach out to the bookstore to get that as soon as possible. All right, so getting to NRG the day of, parking entrances. Students and guests should plan to enter NRG Stadium parking through gates 9 and 10 off of Kirby Drive. And you're going to see a map in just a few moments. The stadium parking gates will open at noon on the day of the ceremony, right? So I want to make sure that you're aware of that you come in through gates 9 and 10 off of Kirby Drive, and that the parking gates will open at noon. Parking does cost $22 plus tax per car per entrance. I want to be clear that this is not money that goes to me, my department, to UHD. This is part of our contract with NRG, and they collect this fee. They did tell us that it's credit card payments only. However, one thing I tell the student workers that I have here that are graduating, the folks that we work with, always have a backup plan. I know that NRG is telling us that it's credit card payments only, but you never know. If you can, I would encourage you to bring some cash just in case something comes up the day of. I know that a couple of days we had a couple of storms and the areas lost power, so just be mindful of that, right? But be prepared. There is a fee for parking at NRG Stadium. Stadium entrances. So once you're in the actual NRG park, you will go in to the blue lot. You will park in the blue lot, and you'll head to the Bud Light Plaza. And at the Bud Light Plaza, if you're staring directly at the stadium, on the left-hand side, you'll see the Ford gate, and on the right-hand side, you'll see the Amagi gate. Students will enter NRG Stadium through the Amagi gate at 1 p.m. Guests will enter NRG Stadium through the Ford gate at 1 p.m. as well, right? So you can get to the stadium at noon, park, wait a little bit, and then head into the actual stadium at 1 p.m. And folks, I really would encourage you to do that. I would encourage you to get there soon. Make sure you have everything ready. I'd rather you wait in the parking lot for maybe 20, 30 minutes instead of being stuck in traffic or some kind of car accident, right? It's Houston. There's a lot of traffic, congestion, road work. Please make sure you get there on time. Okay, so this is the map of NRG Park. And again, as I was saying, you have NRG Stadium, you have NRG Center, there's NRG Arena, the Astrodome. So you want to be mindful of that, right? We get a lot of folks that sometimes just enter NRG Park into their Waze or Google. When you go in, you're going to want to go in through parking gate either 9 or 10, and you're going to park in the blue lot, right? So if you go in through parking gate 9, you can just park right here in the blue lot. If you go through parking gate 10, you'll have to go around NRG Stadium and come down to blue lot. You can certainly also go around the Astrodome and come down to the blue lot. Right. So again, want to be very mindful that if you're coming in this way, you're going to go ahead and come through gates 9 and 10. Once you're parked in the blue lot, then you just walk over to Ford entrance, right? If you're a guest or a family member of a graduating student. And if you're a graduating student, you walk in through the Amagi entrance. NRG. Okay, so at NRG follows a clear bag policy, and any bags that are brought in must not be larger than 12 by 6 by 12 inches. A good rule of thumb that NRG told us to follow would be that if you bring in a 1 gallon Ziploc size bag, that will meet the requirements for the clear bag policy at NRG. So if you are bringing anything, I would encourage you to bring it in a gallon size Ziploc bag. Diaper bags and medical bags are allowed inside. They are subject to an inspection before entry. These inspections happen by NRG security staff, not by UHD staff. And if possible, they also recommend that you bring those items in a clear bag as well. Strollers, we get a good number of questions about strollers. Strollers are allowed inside NRG Stadium. However, for any of you that have been to NRG Stadium, you can't take the strollers down to the seating aisles, right? You can't take them down to the actual guest seating areas. Strollers have to be kept on the concourse level, which is where all the vendors are set up, the popcorn, the soda selling, the restrooms. Strollers have to be left at the very top of each seating section. And of course, NRG is not responsible for those. We're not responsible for them. But we do want you to know that strollers are allowed. You would just have to leave them on the concourse level. So those are things you can bring. Things you cannot bring. So what not to bring inside NRG? Obviously, guys, no weapons, no firearms, batons, tasers, mace spray, or knives of any kind. Again, the security folks at NRG are going to check you. You're going to go through metal detectors, bag checks. They're going to have metal wanders. If they decide that there's something you can't bring in, they'll either confiscate it from you or they'll turn you away and tell you to go drop it off in your car. No air horns, no whistles, noisemakers, fireworks, no outside flowers or balloons. We're working to see if we can have the traditional vendor that's there who normally sells flowers and balloons. Of course, that's subject to NRG, but no outside flowers or balloons. No beach balls, frisbees, laser pointers. We get questions about large posters. So you're not allowed to bring in large posters. What you are allowed to bring are smaller chest-sized posters, and you're not supposed to hold them above your head when you block someone else's view. To be safe, I would encourage you not to bring any posters. Again, they're subject to the security check that's happening at each gate by the NRG staff. No video recorders, no audio recorders, or any kind of professional camera equipment. No outside food or drinks, again, unless there's a medical exception that's made by NRG security staff. So inside NRG, so again, if you're a graduating student, you go through Amity Gate. If you're a guest or family member or friend, you go through the Ford entrance. So once you go through Bud Light Plaza, go through your metal detectors, screenings, bag checks, and all that, students will be directed onto the floor level of the stadium and will go through the service corridor all the way to the back. I'll show you a picture in just a little bit. And student check-in will be located at the back. For guests, they're going to be able to go up either the escalator or the ramps, and they're going to go up to the concourse level, where then they go ahead and exit and go ahead and find their guest seating. One thing that we do get questions on is what if my guests need any kind of accommodations? What if they're in a walker? We need a wheelchair. We worked with NRG before. They traditionally have folks with wheelchairs who can assist anyone who needs any kind of accommodations or special seating. There's an elevator on that side as well for anyone that needs it. So if that's something, the NRG staff there will be able to help you. And certainly, if you have concerns about this beforehand, you can email NRG and ask them for this setup. We've never had any issues with them. We've never had any kind of concerns come up with that. And certainly accommodations are available to our students who are graduating as well. I'll have that information in a couple slides. There are no guest tickets. So that's another question that we get asked, right? How many guest tickets do each one of us get? How many guests can I invite? At NRG Stadium for this commencement ceremony in May, there are no guest tickets required. Graduating students don't need a ticket. Any of your guests that you invited don't need a ticket. There's no limit to how many folks you can invite and have over. But I do want to share that seating at NRG Stadium is on a first come, first served basis. So again, just be mindful of that. Tell your folks to get there early so they can get good seats. And of course, we're going to have signage and ushers throughout the entire complex directing guests and students as to the correct locations of where they need to go. Okay, so this is a bird's eye view of NRG Stadium if you're looking at it. The Bud Light Plaza would be down here, right? Parking lot would be a little bit further down. So this is where your guests and family members are coming in through the Ford entrance. They're coming up the escalator or the ramps. Then they're going to come out through the actual concourse. And traditionally, the seats that are going to be available for them are going to be pretty much from about 107 all the way around to about 126. Right. So this is the guest seating that's available. And that's really because the stage is typically here close to the 50-yard line. So again, guests will come in through the concourse here and then can get any guest seating on this side of the actual arena. Students are going to come in straight to Ramagee Bank entrance. You will not go through the escalator. You will not go through the actual ramps. You're going to go into a service corridor and you're going to walk all the way down to the back. And at the back end, we're going to have our check-in tables. Again, all four colleges are graduating at the ceremony at the same time. I would encourage you to pick up your walk card beforehand. That way, you're not stuck in a long line trying to get your walk card, because we're going to break it up alphabetically. And so we're going to have folks in lines to get their walk cards. But if you pick up your walk card before then, you do not need to go to the check-in line. While you're on the floor, while you're here in the service corridor, and there's restrooms right here, please make sure that you use the restrooms before going to the floor. There are no restrooms on the floor. There's no restrooms by the check-in tables. There's no restrooms in the back where we're going to have you staging for processing. All the restrooms are going to be right here along the service corridor. Make sure that you use them before you head into check-in, before you actually get to your seats for the procession. All righty. Student check-in, again, after security screening, you head down the service corridor to get your walk card. Your walk card is what is used to call your name out, and I'll mention a little bit more about that in the bottom bullet. But the walk card is what you give to the individual that's at the podium on stage, and that's what they use to call your name. That's going to get you to walk across and go ahead and get your scroll. Check-in starts at 1 p.m. by last name. Again, if you pick up your walk card before the ceremony, you can skip the check-in line at the ceremony. We get a lot of questions about the back of the walk card. So when you get your walk card, the front end is going to have your name, your major. There's going to be a number on the top right-hand side. There are going to be different colors for the walk cards. You're going to notice some of your friends have greens and blues. But we always get questions about the back, because the back says, first name, last name, mailing address, email, phone number. And students will always ask us, do I need to fill that out? That's really up to you. I would encourage you to do so. But what that is when you get called to walk across the stage, you're going to go ahead and walk across the stage. You're going to shake the president's hand with your right hand. And then with your left hand, you're going to go ahead and get the scroll that they're giving you, the diploma to. Then someone's going to take a picture of you, right? And not just your family and your friends, but we have a professional photography team that's going to be right in front of the stage on the floor, that's going to be taking a picture of every single student who's walking across the stage and getting their commemorative tube. So one thing that I tell students is, first of all, make sure you smile, make sure your eyes are open. Again, you shake hands with the right hand, you get your tube with the left hand at the same time. And the back of the walk card, that information, your first name, last name, mailing address, email, and phone number, that's if you want to get a proof of that picture to maybe order those pictures, right? So again, it's not necessarily saying that you're committed to buying that picture, but that you'd like to see the picture and might be interested in actually purchasing it down the road. So we always tell students that if that's what you're planning on doing, please fill out the back of the walk card. It doesn't hurt. And the very last bullet, so we also get this come up at check-in. Students will ask about their names, right? I want to make sure my name's going to be pronounced correctly. Who do I talk to about how they're going to call my name? I want to make sure they don't mess it up. My first name is Ovidio. I all kinds of different pronunciations, so I definitely get it. We will have a table at check-in that's going to be labeled as a name calling table. And those are literally the folks that are going to be calling the names on the stage for students to walk across the stage. So if you're concerned about your name, if you have concerns about how they may be pronouncing your name, or you want to double check and make sure that they pronounce it correctly, go to the name calling station, right? They're going to go ahead and check your walk card. They're going to say your name the way they think it's going to be said. And if any changes need to be made, they will make any kind of phonetic spelling changes to it. They'll make any kind of notes so that when they get the walk card, they'll know exactly how to pronounce your name. So again, do not make any kind of edits or revisions at home. There's nothing you need to do to the walk card. Bring it with you. Or if you get it at commencement check-in, after that, go to the name calling table and double check on the pronunciation of your name. Any changes that need to be made, they will go ahead and make them there. Where do I sit? So the walk card also has a number on the top right-hand side of the top right-hand side corner. That is your seat corresponding to the actual seating chart that we use. that is your spot in the ceremony. You want to make sure that one, you have your walk card, and two, that you are at your seat at 2:45 p.m. because we're going to get ready to stand you up and have you process to the front of the stadium. And if you're not there, we're going to get started with or without, right? There's a lot going on. There's a lot of movement. But again, you want to make sure you have your walk card and that you're at the seat that matches the number on your walk card. Fourth bullet here, visit the restroom. Again, guys, very important, visit the restroom. You want to make sure you use the restrooms at the service corridor before you get to the floor, and certainly before we go to the front to start the ceremony. Late arrivals. So this is one thing that is really difficult, and I want to make sure to share with you and be upfront about it. One of my jobs at the commencement ceremony is to hold back any students that arrive late. We get questions about, well, what is the procession? I've heard that you guys are going to process. What does that mean? So when you come in and do your check-in, we're going to have you sitting in the back of, behind the stage. We're going to have you in order. And then as we get ready to start, we're going to stand you up in order, and we're going to single file walk you out onto the front of the stadium. This is a really special moment. There are going to be a lot of folks yelling and cheering for you. A lot of folks are going to be taking pictures and video. They're going to go ahead and be waving at you. You're going to be looking for your family in the stand somewhere. It's a really important moment. It's a really special moment. There's a lot of cheering, a lot of happiness. If you're late, you will not be able to be a part of that, right? So again, I'm telling you, please do not be late. What ends up happening is once we're up and moving, we can't get you all the way to the back and move folks over and kind of be in front of everyone, kind of scooting and getting folks in between. What ends up happening is usually by 2:45, I'll hold any students that are late, I'll hold them in the service tunnel. And then once everything's over, once the students get to process, once they're standing in front of their seats, once the platform party, the president, and all the VIPs are on the stage, then my team and I will kind of move you in on the floor and put you at the very end of everyone that walked in, right? And I really think that you missed out on a really special, important portion of the ceremony where you're walking out, where we're playing pomp and circumstance, where folks are cheering for you. So again, remember that the gates open early at noon, check-in starts at 1, ceremony starts really at 3, but we want you in your seat at 2:45. Don't be late. Show up early. Again, I'd rather you wait in the parking lot for an extra 20, 30 minutes than you having to miss this procession. This may be, for your undergraduate degree, may be the only procession that you have. And certainly we don't want you to miss it. We don't want your friends and family to miss you walking out either. Okay. Another question that we get is, as students are walking in, going through security, they're going through check-in, they're in the back, making sure that they look sharp and their caps and gowns are fixed. There'll be music playing. And so students will ask us, hey, am I missing something? Did we start already? Am I in the right place? And yes, you're in the right place. We have what we traditionally call a pre-show. And so obviously, your guests, your family members, your friends, they're coming in, they're having a seat, and they're really just sitting there waiting, right? While you're coming in, checking in, while we're getting you an order. And so we don't want them to sit there with nothing to really watch or do. So we usually have a pre-show. We'll play different videos of UHD, promoting UHD. Traditionally, we'll have a band or we'll have a mariachi playing a couple of songs. So I don't want you to freak out when you start hearing things like, hey, it sounds like this already started. There's a pre-show going on. And the pre-show will start right as soon as we're getting ready to process you and walk you out to the front. Make sure you turn off or silence your phone. You are allowed to have your phone with you, but please make sure it's silenced and or turned off. Make sure you have your cap. This always happens, y'all. We get folks that run late. I left my cap at home. I left my cap in the car. I lost my tassel. Please hold on to your cap. Please make sure that you keep your tassel on the cap. The tassel goes on the right-hand side, and then at the end of the ceremony, moves to the left-hand side. And please, please, please do not lose your walk card. We'll get students who show up at check-in. They'll go ahead and get their walk card, and then 10 minutes later, they lost it, right? We'll find walk cards in the restroom. We'll find them on the floor, in the hallway. Please make sure you have your walk card. That's what we use to call your name, right? So it's really important. And once everyone stands up and starts moving out, we're going to process you to the front. Make sure you stay in order, right? Because we're going to call you based on that order. And again, once you walk out, make sure you smile, you wave. There's going to be a lot of people taking pictures, videos, and obviously looking for you. You're going to be looking for your friends and family as well. Okay, so that's the beginning of the procession. And then the actual program begins, right? So the processions for faculty, platform parties, students begin at 3 p.m. Then we have our national anthem. We have an introduction of distinguished guests. There'll usually be a representative from the Board of Regents there to provide greetings. We'll have remarks from our university president, Dr. Lauren Blanchard. We'll have guest remarks, and then we'll have a student speaker, right? So all this is the formal portion of the program where we're having different folks share information and obviously congratulate you on everything that you're doing. Towards the end of this, you're going to start seeing the marshals kind of stand up folks and get them lined up to head over to the stage. Don't worry about that. Don't freak out. We know that there might still be people speaking on the stage, but we want to make sure that as soon as they're done, we start calling your names and getting you across that stage. So make sure that you follow your marshals and ushers instructions. Make sure that you have your walk card. Make sure that you stay in order. The deans will do an interaction of the candidates by graduation, by college. You'll be lined up. Again, make sure your tassel's on you. Make sure it's on the right-hand side. And then once you're on the stage, you will go ahead and give your walk card to the name caller. They will call your name. You walk across the stage. Remember, you're going to go ahead and get a scroll tube with your left hand. You're going to shake the president's hand with your right hand. And at that moment, a picture will be taken of you. Once all the names are called, there's a formal conferring of degrees by the university provost. Then there's a proclamation by the university president. And congratulations, you're then told that you can move your tassels from the right to the left. After that, we do a recessional of the party platform, recessional for the students, and students end up leaving NRG through the exit gates. Once outside, obviously you connect with your friends, your family, your relatives, anyone who was there for you. And we would ask that you plan for a 3-hour ceremony. And yes, we do expect all of our students to stay there for the entire ceremony. Student accommodations. So we do get questions about different accommodations. Who do I talk to? Who can I connect with? You're going to get emails regarding this information, right? We're going to email all graduating students who submitted a graduation application. But if for some reason you want to be proactive, reach out to them or have additional questions, this is their information here on the screen, our Accessible Education Center with their email and their phone number. This is for graduating students, right? So if you have a mom, a dad, a grandfather, a family member, a friend who needs accommodations at NRG, this is not the number to call, right? This is only for UHD students who are graduating. If you have questions about accommodations at NRG, you can reach out to NRG, their main number, just tell them you have a request for accommodations for the UHD graduation. They'll take care of it. We've never had any issues. And then keep in mind that their accommodation team will also be at guest check-in the day of. Okay, so then a couple of items for after the ceremony, right? Once all this is done and you're out of here, so you do get a commemorative scroll, right? We call it a tube that you get at the commencement ceremony. It's a blue tube. It has a congratulatory letter in it. It does not have your diploma. We get a lot of questions about that. Folks will open it at the ceremony. Hey, this isn't my diploma. What is this? I need my diploma. First of all, your grades have not been submitted yet. Your grades for the spring semester actually are due that same exact day on May 10th. So no, we have not calculated everything. We don't know yet if you passed all your spring classes, right? We hope you do, but that's something to keep in mind. So you'll get a congratulatory letter in that too. Once grades are posted, once we know that yes, you passed everything, you can begin to order your official transcripts that will have the different information from majors, minors, concentrations, your Latin honor designations. And then diplomas and or certificates are typically available for pickup anywhere from 4 to 5 weeks after that. The diplomas will note the major you graduated with, but do not include the minors or concentrations. One of the things that we get asked a lot is, will my walk card have the honors that I'm going to have? And the answer is no. Your walk card will have the honors that you currently have, right? So what I mean by that is we're going off of information that we have in the system whenever we print out your walk cards. And for some of you, the latest information may be fall 2023 data, right? And so that may be that your honors designation is going to be one thing, but hopefully after maybe a very good spring semester, your honor designation will be updated and will be a higher standing, and that will be denoted on your transcript and your diploma. Now that goes the other way too, though, right? That means that if you have really high honors as of fall 2023, and maybe you don't do so well in the spring semester, that could mean that your honors designation goes down, which will be reflected on your official transcript and your diploma, right? So I do want to share that with you. And the last thing I do want to share with you, I think it's really important. Again, it's another one of those difficult things I hate sharing, but it's important to share it. You do have to pass your classes to be awarded a diploma, right? We'll get students, unfortunately, that will say, you know what, I tried to order my diploma and I was told that I didn't have one. we'll look at their records and we'll identify, no, you actually failed a class or two in the spring or this past semester. So no, you need to retake those classes and then graduate. And of course, they'll say, but I was at the ceremony, like I walked, so I get a diploma. No, the commencement ceremony is symbolic, right? It's a representation of what we believe you're going to achieve, but that does not guarantee that you'll get your diploma, right? Your final grades, your academic standing, your academic progress and performance will determine your diploma and your official transcript being listed as having you awarded a degree. So make sure that you finish strong in this last semester for your final classes. Okay, the next couple slides I have are frequently asked questions. These came in via different emails, people that called in and asked us already, folks that maybe questions that we have from previous commencement that we know people ask a lot on. What should I wear? I would encourage you to wear business casual, right? I would encourage you to be comfortable, not so comfortable that you're wearing something inappropriate, but you want to make sure that, if you've never been in NRG, there's a lot of walking. There's a lot of walking from the parking lot to the stadium, from the gates at the stadium to check-in, from check-in to process to the front, across the stage and back out. There's a lot of walking. So I would tell you, wear something comfortable. We also get questions about cap and gown, right? Can I show up wearing my cap and gown? Please don't. When you go through security, they're going to ask you to take the cap and gown off, right? And so what I would tell you to do is to show up with your gown draped over your arm, and if possible, to not have your cap affixed to your head. And I say that because there's many times folks will show up with, nice hairdos or something already, and their caps are fixed with bobbing pins or whatnot. And then they're asked to take them off at security, right? And so, again, just keep that in mind. What items are not permitted in the stadium? So, again, we already talked about those. They're in the recording and in the presentation. You can go back to see those. But essentially, you want to make sure that nothing inappropriate, right? No weapons, no knives, mace spray, noisemakers, bullhorns, none of that stuff. Can I store my personal belongings somewhere? The short answer is no. There is nowhere for you to store personal belongings. You're not given a locker. You don't have a place to keep them safe. And none of us are going to be able to watch your stuff for you. We're running around doing a million different things. We encourage students to only bring what they can carry on themselves. And really, if you can only bring what you carry in your pocket, maybe some cash, an ID, a credit card, your walk card, and your phone. That's really what I would keep it at. Students will ask, well, can I leave things under my chair and then I can come back to it? There's no guarantee you're going to come back to the same chair, right? There's a lot of shuffle and movement. There's no guarantee you're going to come back to the same chair. So again, there is nowhere to store your personal belongings. If you do bring items, keep in mind that that's at your own risk and we don't have a place for you to store them. What if I arrive late? Again, please don't arrive late. Please don't arrive late. It always breaks my heart to hold these students because we're already moving. We're already seating, we're already inserting folks, and we just can't stop the ceremony for every student that arrives late. If you arrive late, I'm going to hold you back at the service corridor. And then once everyone's done getting to their seats and everyone's done getting to the stage, we'll walk you into the back, through the back of the stadium and insert you to the very end of the line. Where can I get my cap and gown? You can order it online from our bookstore website off of Herff Jones, or you can come here on campus and order it in person. Please do not wait to the last week. Do not wait to the last day to get your cap and gown. A few semesters ago, we had a couple of students that did this, and they were taller students, about 6 feet, 5'10", and all they had left were really short gowns, right? So you don't want to do that. You want to make sure you come in on time and get something that's appropriate for your size. Can I decorate my cap? Yes, you can. You can decorate your cap. Actually, at the graph fair that's happening this Thursday, we're going to have a station set up with free supplies for folks to decorate their caps if they already have them. What you cannot do is decorate in a 3D fashion. And so what that means is do not decorate it to where things are standing on top of your cap to where it'll block someone else's view. If that happens, someone complains or we notice that you have something on top of your cap, we'll likely end up asking you to remove the cap and give you one of the empty ones that we have without anything on it. You can put words on it, you can put stickers on it, you can decorate with flowers, some edging and all that. Just no 3D high up decorations. What if I need special accommodations? Again, if you're a graduating student and need special accommodations, reach out to our Accessible Education Center here at UHD. If you need special accommodations for a guest or family member, please reach out to NRG. Yep, that's the last bullet there. How many guests can I invite? There is no limit to the number of guests that you can invite. Graduating students don't need to have a ticket. Guests that are coming in don't need to have any kind of guest tickets. There's no limit. It's again, first come, first serve seating at NRG. Can I take the Metro rail? Yes, you can. Where can I get dropped off if I'm not driving? I'm going to go back to the map and I'm going to show you this. That does come up quite a bit. We get students that say, well, can I get dropped off by Uber or can I ride the rail? You can. They are open. If you ride the rail, though, it's going to drop you off over here by the NRG Center. That's a good little walk. If you've ever been to the rodeo or any kind of concert or show out there, it's a solid, 25, 30-minute walk to get all the way from the light rail all the way to the front entrance. But you can't. Just know that is an option. And typically for like Uber and Lyft, there's a station right here by the bridge where folks get dropped off right off of Kirby. So if you get dropped off here by Uber, you certainly can walk in, go through security, and then go ahead and head into check-in. So yes, you can have Uber or Lyft drop you off, and yes, you can ride the Metro rail. How early can I arrive at NRG? So again, the parking gates 9 and 10 open at what did I say? I don't want to misspeak right now. The parking gates open early at noon. So the parking gates will open at noon. So you can show up as early as noon. You can wait in the actual parking lot until we start checking at 1 o'clock, which is really what I would recommend you do. What time is student check-in? 1 o'clock. Who do I talk to about getting my honor report? So again, you want to connect with your advisor. Each college does things a little differently. I know some of them have done kind of small ceremonies, recognition events. They all should be at our grad fair, giving out honor reports to those of you who qualify for them. But connect with your academic success coordinator, your academic advisor, and talk to them about getting your honor report. Are strollers allowed inside NRG Stadium? Yes, we already covered this. Strollers are allowed inside NRG Stadium. They just have to be left on the concourse, right? So again, just be mindful of that. What if I have more questions? If you have any other questions, make sure that you check our social media sites, right? Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. Go to our UHD Commencement website. We're going to keep that up to date. We're going to include different information, including this recording. And then if there's anything else that you have questions on or maybe that wasn't answered here, please reach out to us via email here, the UHD graduation email, with any of the questions you may have, and we'll certainly obviously follow up with you. One of the last things I want to share with all of you folks is the grad fair, a reminder. It is not a requirement, but certainly if you're able to, this Thursday, March 28th at 3 p.m. in the academic building in A300, we are going to have the grad fair. Traditionally here, again, students can come in and pick up their walk cards. It's the first opportunity to pick up your walk card. Usually we have, again, a decorating station for caps. Students can visit with their academic success coordinator, get their honor reports. So really overall, it's a fun event. Everyone that's there is happy, is celebrating because they're all getting ready to graduate. If you're able to make it, please go ahead and do so. I think it'd be a really good event to be at. And that's all I have, folks. So again, congratulations, for all of us that work here at UHD. This is a really great event. I mean, this is a culmination of all the work from recruitment, admissions, getting into classes registered, academic success, all the way to reaching your academic goals and receiving your credential. We're very excited to be a part of this. We're happy to have you at NRG again. I mean, we're just over the moon about this because we know what this means. We know, having worked in education, what it could mean for your family as well. So congratulations. Again, make sure you finish strong. If you have any questions, let us know. But we'll see you at the grad fair, and then we'll see you at commencement at NRG Stadium. Take care, everyone.